fresh pair of corduroys. People be out here calling Jim Harbaugh so cool because he wearing slacks, man. Get off my lane, bro. I was out here with them Crispies, and you had to iron them so that the line will be right down the middle like that. Like,
I've never ironed a garment.
Oh my gosh, that was one of the many craziest things when I went to college, because like I went to school and I had a small ironing board and iron that I brought there.
That's funny.
I was used to I'd been ironing my clothes since I was like, I don't know, 10.
Okay.
And so I just assumed everybody knew how to iron.
Oh, no. No.
I could have ran a service.
You really should have.
People were like, yo, Lume, can you iron this for me real quick?
Yeah, high key.
What? You don't know how to iron?
No. I know how. I just have never done it.
No, yeah. The amount of times when I asked them, like, well, when's the last time you did this? I'm sorry, what?
People are just, I don't know. They're dumb, I guess.
No, back then I used to be like, okay, that's wild. Now, of course, going more through life, I'm like, it's just, that is what it is. Everybody's goes through different things, and it's just growing up with my parents. Wake up before you go to bed. So you got
up at like 6 a.m. and iron your clothes before school?
Night before. Outfit had to be ready the night before.
You picked out an outfit the night before school, ironed it, and then went to bed?
Mm-hmm.
Every night?
Mm-hmm.
What? This is so foreign to me.
Well, foreign parents, so yeah. Adds up.
I cannot even imagine this.
No, for real. Like, I used to get cussed out, like, because I remember, especially, I think it was, I want to say maybe like freshman year of high school or something, where there would just be, like, Fridays were just known as, like, more, like, casual days.
Of course.
I would go into, like, Thursday night, and I'm like, I'm not going to pick it out because I'm just going to throw on, like, some shorts. We used to do, like, with Joe, we used to do, like, Jersey Fridays.
Yeah.
We're wearing a jersey. We're doing the whole thing. And my dad would come downstairs and see that I did not have clothes sitting on the chair that was, like, opposite of my bed, like, that you can see from the living room.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, so you went to sleep without making your outfit, huh? So you're gonna get up and do that, huh? I'm like, yes.
What year of high school was this? Like every year, freshman? By the time you're a senior, like, is this still happening?
I think once I was a junior, they let it go. But then by the time I was a junior, I was just so used to it. Because again, I've been ironing clothes since I was like 10.
This is insane. I cannot even imagine.
Maybe even younger than 10, to be honest with you. But like, I know for sure at least 10. So like, I just gotten used to like getting my clothes ready the night before, so it was just a thing. Like I just always.
I suppose. So was there any? Okay. Anyway, well, we have to continue. Welcome back to Quarantings.
We're back.
This episode is all about high school, specifically sex education in high school. But a big part of that is the clothing, which is what we already got into before we even started recording this episode.
I didn't mean to get into it that way. I just want to shout out my corduroys. That's all.
So, like, was there a dress code though at your school?
No, I've never
at all. Nothing.
I've never been to a school with. Well, I've never been to a school with a dress code that wasn't more than like the no spaghetti strings,
which is once again just a way to police women's sexuality. It means nothing to anything. But continue.
Correct. Yeah,
that's part of my point to make.
As far as guys, I mean, don't sag your pants.
Okay.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like no sweatpants.
No, I really don't think we had something like that. Like, maybe we did, but like,
you just don't. Yeah,
it wasn't heavy. Like,
I wonder if they do now. I feel
really
like things have gotten more stricter.
I can pull up the yearbook and look. It's right over there.
Right.
I really don't think we had anything that heavy. Like, other than like what I pointed out, the spaghetti strings.
Yeah.
Skirt length, which I'm sure you're gonna get into that crap too.
The bread and butter, baby.
Yeah. But as far as guys, like, okay, like gym shorts, I don't think you could walk around like all day in. I think.
Like no basketball shorts.
It was like you had to be coming from gym class. But it's like if I saw you in first period, if I saw you in first period in gym shorts, and I saw you in fourth period in gym shorts, motherfucker, gym class is only an hour.
So what do they do? You get detention, or they say change, or what?
Both. sometimes.
Okay.
Depending on who found you.
Yeah. I mean, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. But most of the time, it's just like, hey, bro, go change. Or like, I better not see that shit tomorrow or something like that.
Right.
Like,
just, yeah.
There was very few times. I mean, there was a couple instances I can recall back in those dark days of high school that
it was so dark. That's another point to be made. But.
Somebody got in the what they were wearing situation, but most of the time, it honestly wasn't that serious. Like,
what do you mean? Who? What?
I mean, like, there were some women that were a little defiant.
Ding, ding, ding.
Here we go. A couple women that were a little defiant on what they was wearing. Some women that was like, hey, that bitch is just taller than me, so why does my knee length thing matter?
Right.
Like, it's not that big a deal.
It's not.
Hey. even at that young age, I love girls I did adore. So trust me, I was out here championing for these women. And then of course there were the guys that just wanted to wear, like, back then some of the emo shirts that were a little too
like rips, holes in the shirt. Yeah,
little too much, more challenging. The way parents are fake worried about Lil Nas X right now.
Right.
Same idea, like, cool out, okay? Like, cool out, like, just wear what you want. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really have a dress code thing, but I didn't go to a school like you went to.
K-12 Catholic school, baby. Yeah, so here's what it's like wearing a uniform for 13 years of your life. First of all, there is no, like, I mean, that's just so crazy to me that you, like, picked out a fit and, like, whatnot. Because obviously, like,
we
didn't do that. Like,
but you didn't have to.
It was just like, boom, fucking polo, fucking.
But see, this sounds great to me because, see, I had to pick out a fit.
No.
But I had to pick out a fit that had to get approved.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, from your parents.
Your fit was at least already approved.
Well, but see, the thing is you would think. you would think it was already approved. I mean, so I went, when I was there, it was honestly like the glory days on some level because, not for me personally, but like compared to how I know how it is now.
Yeah,
and it's like, you're supposed to go to this one fucking store in North St. Paul called Donald's to get your fucking uniforms.
I can tell you right now, I ain't trusting no store called Donald's to get my fits.
It's this Catholic store, and it has the uniforms for every school in the Twin Cities. So everyone goes there for their plaid skirts and whatnot. Yeah. And so when I was there, like, we had to get our shirts from there because they had the logo on it embroidered.
Yeah.
But if you thought I was getting some ugly fucking slacks from that motherfucker, you were mistaken. I was at Express buying black pants, like, not giving a fuck about no special place. And then this, like, obviously, most of the chicks wore skirts. I didn't bother with the skirts by the time I got to upperclassmen because I'm just like, this literally is more trouble than it's fucking worth.
Yeah, like, I'm not dealing with this bullshit.
But then it was also the shoes. Like, people get in trouble for their fucking shoes all the time because it had to be black or brown shoes. And it can't be Nikes. Can't be tennis shoes. It has to be black or brown, like, fake dress shoes.
And just to be clear, this was a private school?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Public, private. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. All right.
But it's more than that. I mean,
no, I know.
Yeah,
this definitely
it's
sounds
a
like
new
more
level
than that.
when it's the Catholic religious shit because that's kind of the point that I'm making is like, I mean, when you have, like, imagine, just riddle me this for a second.
Ooh, go ahead, girl.
Every day you wake up and you go into work, essentially, at fucking 7 a.m. You haven't had any coffee yet. You're not even fucking awake. And as you walk in the door, a male superior says to you, well, it looks like your skirt's not touching your fucking kneecap. And this goes on every day for 4 years. Like, imagine the psychological turmoil.
Bless your soul.
And trauma.
Bless it.
That this causes a fucking 16-year-old girl. Like, that's what I mean by it was more trouble than it was even fucking worth to wear these damn skirts. Like, literally, like, with their, like, they would take their hand like this. Yeah. Male teachers, I'm not kidding, would take their hand like this, and the creepy ones would actually touch you. Mm-hmm. And, like, go like this on your knee and be like, that's not touching your knee. 7 a.m. This bullshit. Like, when I tell you that bitches have religious trauma, Like, it is. I'm not kidding. It's not a joke. This is SOS. Like,
hey, I know you're not kidding. It's just about what you about to put on wax today. That's all. I never thought you were kidding.
It was so wild and like so blatantly disproportionately affected the women than the men as well. Cause like, first of all, I was ostracized a great deal for not wearing a skirt.
For not doing a skirt. I was about to say, I know you said it was more trouble than it's worth wearing a skirt, but I feel like it was almost equal trouble.
It was a lot of trouble. It's because not only was I getting like flack from the administration for not wanting to wear a skirt, but I was also getting flack from my peers, which was a whole nother thing because, as I've said in other episodes, I've always been tall. I've always had big boobs. And like, it's just one of those things that's just like, it becomes like that's who you are. Mm-hmm. And as a 16-year-old, that's so damaging, especially when it's not just you. Like, it's not only the fact that you are being known for your body, but it's even more so the fact that and that body is inappropriate.
Mm-hmm. Like there's something wrong with that body.
Exactly.
Like,
so
when there isn't, but
it was so brutal, and like, you know, it's hard to, I don't know, think this clearly about things at the time and for years afterward, and plenty of like late 20s women are still dealing with the fucking.
But even I don't even know if it's that it's hard. It's like, are you even ready? Like to be thinking that way? Like,
totally. No, 100% no.
Like I get it. There's we got the 16-year-olds now that are on the TikToks and doing a lot of things that I didn't do when I was 16.
Sure.
I get that. But as far as like their actual like what your capacity is to handle some of these deeper things, come on now. That's like that. I know well, whatever. I'm sure we'll have talked about it at this point. That's that Jerry Jones like confidentiality at 1 year old. Like,
yeah.
Can I really ask you these questions at this age?
Yeah,
like,
is this really a fair thing?
Come on now. Like, so just being like, hey, doesn't look like that's working with those knees. Yeah, it
doesn't work. And I mean, you're kind of catching at like a wider point to the whole point of this episode, which is that like, just not dealing with something doesn't solve the problem, because it, you know, are high school students really ready to like make autonomous decisions and fully I don't know, come to terms with their sexual identity? No. But preaching abstinence and fucking hide yourself vibes, that doesn't do the trick.
They wasn't preaching no abstinence in our school.
Really? Okay, so let's hear it. I'm so curious.
So, okay, well, let me backtrack a little bit. I'm not saying that they wasn't preaching abstinence, like they was like, hey, everybody just go start
get out
fucking
here
people.
Yeah.
Because like my school compared to our rival high school, we were the preppier school.
Yep.
We were located in a much more preppy neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Like I remember driving, like when we drive to school or take the bus, like I was like, dang, this is a lot nicer houses than where I be. Like,
sure.
So it was whatever. It kind of just like, the kids be kids.
Yeah.
But like when it came to like sex and like sex ed and like, you know, like, ooh, are you seeing people? Like obviously they weren't like, oh, we see kids like making out in the hallway, like we just
it's
gonna
cool,
walk by.
Up. Yeah, no.
They're teachers coming through like, hey, chill out. Like, so PDA wasn't out here just fully accepted, but you also weren't like getting punished per se. It was, I mean, I think there was maybe like 2 teachers in the whole school that like if they saw you, they might try to write you up for some shit, but it wasn't gonna result really in anything. Like, but most teachers were like, hey, calm down. And they wasn't catching me because I didn't make out with not one single girl in school.
You weren't
weren't
the class whore.
I was there wishing and hoping, writing in my little journal, like, man. But I think it was even freshman year. It was either freshman or sophomore year where I think it was sophomore year where health class.
Okay.
We had our little sex ed curriculum. And I mean, needless to say, talking about condoms just had the whole class laughing.
Okay. I mean, yeah,
every time you said the word vagina, like no guy could keep a straight face because we're just fucking clowns, even though pretty sure there are grown men right now when I say the word vagina that are also not keeping
Yeah, that
a
also
safe
can't deal. Right,
so
right,
it doesn't matter. We have not changed.
Vagine, classic.
As I have said on this podcast many a times, some things we're just not good at, okay? But I think the curriculum was under a month. I want to say it was only like 2 weeks.
That's all it takes, folks.
Yeah.
4 simple weeks to master that sexual urge of yours.
Teach it safe sex.
Figure it all out in 2 weeks.
This is where you put it in, all right? And if you do it incorrectly, a baby's coming out.
Wait, this is really what they're saying? I mean, even this, like, wait till you hear what I have to say. Go, continue.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, that was basically what it was. It was just like, they gave us like the basics.
Anatomical description of sex?
It was the straight biology, physiology of like where stuff is. It was, we had Planned Parenthood style somebody come in to do a presentation one day and bring us condoms, which whatever.
I mean, wow. Okay. Mm-hmm.
That was about it. Like, then it was just like, hey, we better not catch y'all fucking around here, though. And
right.
That's on the end. That's on the end of curriculum. So, but we better not see y'all.
Day, but don't use these.
Yeah, but we better not see y'all fucking around here.
Then, you don't have to go home.
And then, sure enough,
get the fuck out of here.
Sure enough, a semester later, some bitch is pregnant, and it's like, oh my god, did you hear? Stacy is pregnant. Wow.
Yeah. So, but really, no. I mean. That, to be fair, that is leaps and bounds better than what we got. But still really no, like, discussion about, like, sexual identity or relationships or, like, anything like that.
As far, like, first of all, they weren't promoting relationships other than, like, I definitely went to like, a Mean Girl style high school where there was, like, the preppy kids, the cool kids. Whatever, like, so many cliques, right? So many cliques. But like they weren't promoting relationships other than like your homecoming queen and key or snow days king. Like other than that,
it's not like they're saying like make sure you have like open conversations with your partner. Da da da.
This was still at a time period when like the phrase like gay was still a big insult.
Right.
So like there were people that we knew that clearly like were the same gender and you
didn't talk
clearly
about
had to be caught. Yeah, you just didn't say it. We didn't reference it. Didn't talk about it at all. We definitely didn't talk about it in the curriculum. Like maybe a half little phrase, but like, so it was very, very minor compared to
fake adequate.
Like
Yeah.
So
I mean, first of all, just directly to that comment. One of the main teachers at my school that everyone loved this teacher, got fired for coming out of the closet. Like, you can't be a gay teacher at a Catholic school.
Oh.
You can't be openly gay. Yeah. So, like, that's where we're starting at. Like,
oh.
Which is obviously terrible. Like, I'm laughing, but, like, it's awful. It's really bad. Yeah, exactly. So, like, there's that. So that's going on. That happened I think, sophomore year that he got fired. As far as sex ed, 0. None. Not one thing.
Y'all didn't, like, you just didn't talk about it?
There was no... I mean, first of all, the Catholics believe that birth control is a sin. Like, I don't know if, like, non-religious people know this, but, like, birth control is not allowed in Catholicism. So there's no...
So the only birth control is to not have sex?
Correct. Literally. You are not... The messaging is, like, you will not have sex until you're married. Yeah. That's the only purpose of sex is to get pregnant and have children when you're married.
I was about to say, put the other part. Otherwise,
So like, absolutely, like teachers, honestly, I mean, I don't know what the rules are about being a teacher at a Catholic school, but definitely like we're not allowed to use words like condoms and birth control. So like, I genuinely didn't know how to use a condom until I was in college. Because like literally it was so taboo. I couldn't even like say the word tampon in high school.
But they knew you were using them, right?
Barely. Like we definitely did not receive any type of like period help or support from like the administration or teachers in any way. Like there's always, like you said, there's always like the teacher that like you're cool with and you have that like individual relationship with and it's fine and they're supportive like on the low. But in general, like I'm sure like in hindsight when I think about it, if I had gone to the nurse's office and been like, hey, I need a tampon, I think they would have had them. But I don't actually know that for a fact.
Yeah, like there's no way.
And so especially freshman and sophomore year, like the worst possible thing that could have happened to you is that you accidentally drop your tampon out of your sleeve that you're hiding. It would be like the most embarrassing thing ever, and people would like talk about it for weeks. Yeah, it was like really that bad. And the faculty and including the women faculty like did nothing to dispel this. Like A, they weren't allowed. B, they're Catholics themselves that are dealing with their own fucking fucked up shit. And like literally nothing. So like not only, I mean, like hearing the word condom in like a school situation is completely foreign to me. They did not discuss this in any way. It was like, you will not have sex. Like they didn't even talk. It wasn't even you will not have sex. Like it just literally was not even discussed. Like it was just like not even in the realms of possibility in any way, shape, or form at all.
Man, and see, I thought it was disrespectful. I mean, again, you're in high school for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
We only spent 3 weeks out of these 4 years talking about it. So it wasn't like we talked about it for a very long time. But compared to what you're saying, we talked about it for an eternity.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like what you described is so grossly inadequate, and yet it's leaps and bounds ahead of what these Catholic girls and boys, but like particularly girls are being subjected to. It's awful, Lume. The fact that you're surprised right now is actually validating because it makes me be like, yeah, I know. Isn't this insane?
I don't even have a button on the board for this.
Like this one time, we got fucking. So I was a jock. So I was fake popular, and we got reamed the fuck out for not wearing a t-shirt over our sports bras under our practice jerseys. Because during practice, we would have to switch the jerseys from one side to the other. Yeah. To the purple and white. And so, like, we had to take them off and do it.
Spoiler, are we giving colors away?
I mean, whatever, it's fine.
I thought we weren't bringing our school names up here. Like, giving colors away?
For legal reasons, I'm not bringing it up, but otherwise I would.
Well, I mean, she already gave away Catholic school, and now she's doing purple and white. Catholic school and purple. I feel like Google ain't gonna be that hard.
Yeah, exactly.
I know Eric is Googling this right now.
Honestly, if I didn't think they wouldn't fucking sue my ass, I might just say their name because I have nothing good to say about that fucking place. But in any case, yes, we got reamed the fuck out because like in the big old gym, like we were switching our jerseys from one side to the other. And so they could, everybody could see our sports bras.
So
yeah, we were stripping.
And this actually, I think this was on the list, and I don't know exactly where you wanted to for sure go with this, but because you brought it up, I need to know. Y'all did not use the showers at school?
No. No, we did not use the showers.
But
the men
they
did.
Existed.
The showers existed. The men used them. I know they used them because there was all these like funny stories about what would go on in there. Mm-hmm. The women, I mean, like I said, I was a jock, and no, never. I never once showered in that.
Y'all
shower.
Just was stanking? Like, yes. I don't understand.
Well, first of all, this was like, gym was like a big thing. Like, I never took gym because I got all my gym credits waived because I played so many sports. Oh. So you could have somebody sign. We
never got that. Wow, this is a blessing.
Well, they took that away after we left. I think probably because because I finessed them.
Queen finesse. Like, I'm like, shit. I was in sports and I still need to get these gym credits.
I mean, seriously, a big reason why I did that was because I was like too embarrassed to think of like how I would play the shower thing. Like these were legitimate thoughts running through my mind at 16. As I'm like, I can't take gym because I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, again, like bigger, taller girl, like I'm sweating my ass off in this fucking gym class. I'm sweating my ass off in practice. Like, I'm not gonna go to gym class and not sweat. So what am I gonna do? And like, and it's sad. It's sad and it's terrible that like this is
that was the thought process.
Yeah, that was the thought process. And I know I'm not the only one.
No, not even close. And I mean, I'll say like I think our freshman and sophomore year gym classes were shorter periods of time,
so that you could like.
So you could put the appropriate effort, and depending on what period it was scheduled, you didn't have to shower. It was cool. Mm-hmm. But if you took a gym class in junior or senior year,
they
were
smell.
Specifically competitive classes. No one went to those classes to not do anything but try for fucking 40 minutes.
Right.
And these guys would be out here. I mean, high school. Like, we're out here. There's 2 fine girls in the class. Mm-hmm. You're trying to show off. And so now you're trying even harder. So you're sweating ball sacks out here.
Yeah.
And you have to shower.
Right.
And that was like the first time I was like, dang, I'm gonna have to shower like in school around these people.
Right. Whole dick out.
I was like, ain't nobody see me naked but my parents. Like, this is weird.
Well, and then like, so a lot of our teachers were our coaches. Is that common? That's like common at every school, right? I don't know. But a lot of our teachers were our coaches, and so like occasionally a teacher would shower. Like a woman teacher would shower.
Yeah.
And we would just all be like, "Oh my god, ugh.
This is crazy."
And it's like, not to like come down on those specific individuals, because again, like they're working in a Catholic school and they themselves are dealing with whatever they're dealing with. But at the same time, it's like, why at that point, when you can visibly witness like all these young girls being completely like freaked out by the fact that you're taking a shower in a women's locker room, why not go to them at that point and be like, "Hey, what's the deal here? Like, why are you like, why is this so taboo? Like, let's deal with this. Let's talk this out." None of that. Well, none of that.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess the other thing too, like our school, like I said, the school I went to was in a little bougier area. Half the kids were driving. I was younger, so like half the kids were driving by the end of sophomore year.
Oh, you were a baby? We both have a birthday in August. You were a baby?
Yeah.
I was the old one.
Yeah, no, I was on the cutoff where I was the baby. Okay. Yeah, and to this day, I'm mad at my parents for not trying to fight to get me on the other end.
An old one, yeah.
But yeah, so like a lot of those kids, instead of showering, they would just drive home. They lived close enough that they had when they had your free period or your study period, they would just drive home and clean up. So like.
Wait, that was allowed? We were totally policed.
We were allowed to leave for lunches Oh
my God.
Basically, as long as you had a parking pass, a car registered and a parking pass, you could leave the school whenever. But if it was before school ended, you had to like designate.
Wait, you're saying a parking pass for what?
For your car.
To park where?
In our parking lot.
Okay. So first of all, we didn't have a parking lot.
We had a whole student parking lot.
This is literally on a city block. Like, more clues to what this school is. But
I tried to tell you, like, nah. We went to a little bougie ass high school. Like, these motherfuckers had their houses across the street.
Okay. Yeah. No. Like, you're parking on the city block, and when it was a fucking snow emergency, it was all bad.
We had a deep student parking lot. I never got in the first area except for on Jewish holidays because we had a lot of Jews that went to my school. Shout out to all y'all. That was great.
But yeah, we had no parking, no nothing. We had nothing. They policed the shit out of us. We couldn't leave.
Did y'all do field trips?
Barely ever. I mean, okay, yeah, that's a good point. So the prom thing. So for 3 years, so sophomores through seniors had a Christmas dance.
Snow days.
Wasn't called that. I'm not going to say what it's called. That'll be a dead giveaway.
Oh, man. Can't give it away. we had snow days.
But that was the one where they made the chicks ask them fellas. Mm-hmm. Which was sort of like, in hindsight, again, I'm just like, why the fuck are the ladies doing all this fucking work? Like,
hey, no. Hey, y'all want equal opportunities? There should be a day y'all ask and a day we ask.
No, well, that's cool. No, I agree with you. But then why are the sophomores invited to the one where the girls ask, but not to the one where the boys ask? Well, because again, I'm like, but it sounds stupid. But again, I'm 16.
I don't disagree with you.
We're 16. I've never been asked to dance by a boy, and we have no sex ed and no support for anything. And now you want me to like go and be like, hey, be my date to this dance. Like, that's like annoying.
When you say you had never been asked to a dance by a boy, had you been asked to a dance by a girl?
No.
Okay, I just want to specify.
But I just mean like
the way you said it, I was like, maybe you could be asked by a girl.
Our homecoming dance was not dates. And everyone got to go. So
everybody just goes to homecoming. It's just a group thing.
So whatever. We had the homecoming the freshman and sophomore year, but there's no dates to that. Everybody just goes with their friends. So the first dance where you had to have a date was a sophomore year Christmas dance, and the girls had to ask the boys. I'm like, that's fucked up to me in hindsight, because like, Anyway, doesn't matter. So then you have prom, junior and senior year. I didn't go to either prom.
Hey, I didn't. I went to a prom, but it wasn't my school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like first, and part of the problem with these proms was that like the Catholic schools had a legitimate problem on their hands when it came to these dances, because first of all, they can't condone drinking, but that's like any school.
Yeah.
But then second of all is the whole like sex, like dancing, grinding,
like, daddy dancing.
And it was definitely, I mean, like you see this in the movies and you laugh, but like it is that way of like make room for Jesus. I mean, that was like
Grease,
legit, not a
y'all
joke.
Ain't allowed. Like, what's up? Like,
yeah, it was. And the teachers would walk through the crowd, and if you were being too sexual, they would like make you stop, or they'd kick you out.
Were you guys even allowed to slow dance?
They would usually do like 1 or 2 slow dances throughout the whole night, like maybe 3.
Whew.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. So it was literally like you would go. So then we had this thing called so then like once we were older, a bunch of students got together from a different Catholic school, and they were like, fuck this bullshit, let's do our own dance and invite all the Catholic schools in the area and like fake sanction it.
Hustle.
Yeah, and like fake sanction it, and like under the guise of like fundraising for some cause, we'll sell tickets. And that one was not officially sponsored by any of the schools. So that got like rowdy as fuck, and everybody was just like dressed super slutty to that one. And we liked doing that more than going to our actual ones.
I mean, that sounds better. Again, I don't like to highlight it, but high school was a dark time.
It was so
and
terrible.
I wasn't as cool as I am now, I'll say. So I don't think I went to any dances. I was second place for homecoming king one year.
Wow, that's impressive.
Really upset about losing to that clown that I lost to. He did not deserve it. But so no, like as far as like those dance experiences, and actually in one of the previous episodes we talked about how do guys do the friend zone, and I was like, no. The only dances I would have went to, I definitely didn't, because the people that would wanted to go, I definitely had friends on those girls, like 100%. Like, and there's at least 2 I can think of off the top of my head. Like, I'm sorry, I should have went.
I should have asked you.
They fine now, so I'm like, damn.
Fumbled the bag. Fumbled the bag. And that's the thing.
They fine now.
You gotta be a ride or die. You gotta grind it out until the glow up happens.
I didn't want to take. I didn't want to take the risk. I decided I would go play Halo with the boys instead of doing that. So I made the mistakes, but you know, I had a good time. So so we both weren't big on the dances in the high school time. I'm trying to think.
The biggest thing, I don't know. We need to go back to this whole like it was a dark time thing, because this shit was super dark. I mean, like any loyal listeners out there, like y'all know who I am to some degree at this point. Like, imagine me in this environment. I was so at the time I had no idea why I was so upset, and it's disheartening as fuck, because it's just like knowing who I am now and having done this podcast and like how I am in my real life and stuff. Like, it's just so obvious that I was just being like literally like squished under the fucking heel of this ridiculous Catholic repressive no sexuality like blah 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 thing. And honestly, the only thing that got me through it, and the only reason I wasn't way worse off than I fucking was, is because of my mom. Thank God for her. And I don't know how this woman managed this, because she had it way worse than I did when it came to like being indoctrinated into this Catholic bullshit at a young age. She was way worse off. But for some reason, like, she just has always been the type of person that just like always talked to me like I wasn't lesser, and she would just be like super real, and we've always had that like friend
to you like
vibe.
A person, yeah.
And so like she would I mean, she's the first person that ever told me that I should probably have sex before I get married. Like this kind of thing. Like, she kept it really real. Now, she herself is like not me, like on the level that I'm on.
Yeah, but still.
But it made like the most biggest difference in the whole world, because I'm out here like thinking that it's a fault of mine
of what's going on,
that like men aren't like interested in me at 15, 16 years old. Like, that's so fucked up, and that's like how a lot of teenage girls feel, and like there's no discussion of this, and it's just like, keep your fucking legs closed.
Well, I mean, hey, I don't know if that's better than being resentful of your parents for sending you to school in corduroys every fucking day that you had to iron the night before all the time, and being like, yeah, none of these bitches are talking to me because I'm so whack.
Yeah,
I'm wearing my Bill Cosby sweater and my corduroy pants and some Starberry white shoes, and they're like, man, why ain't they giving me no love? Why ain't they giving me no love? So it's like, brutal. At least you looked to her in a way where I was looking at them like more resentful than the school. Like,
yeah, it's tough. Like, it's really tough.
Why y'all disrespect me like that? What I do? I thought you loved me.
It's just such a shame because it's such an opportunity. I mean, if the fucking United States of America insists on putting us all through this like collective high school experience, which is arguable if it's even good for us or not, in my opinion. But like, if this is how we're gonna have the kids spend their time from that age to that age, like, at least give us a supportive environment where we feel like we can actually discuss the things that like are weighing on our fucking minds. And sexuality is a fucking huge one. And especially now, like now with porn being what it is, like you're literally leaving it to porn to like teach kids about sex, and we all know that that's a bad fucking plan. Like, everybody in high school's got a fucking smartphone now. I don't know. I just have nothing good to say about high school, like literally nothing. And
I mean, I had a couple cool teachers in high school.
Fine, yeah.
Actually, there's probably like there's at least one high school teacher that I'm even still friends with on Facebook to this day. Like, shout out Miss P. There were some experiences, probably more in my junior, definitely senior year, that I think helped me kind of grow out of my, for lack of a better word, loser shell, to be more the illuminator that y'all see and enjoy today on the best podcast y'all heard today.
Yeah.
But like, man, before then it was like, oh, I put this on the list actually. We used to have this stupid thing I don't know if you guys had it, where they would do this thing called the top 5.
What, so like on MySpace?
No, like no. So literally, like, people would have a top 5, and it was like, this is more like the popular kids. I'm about to tell you, like,
okay.
The popular kids would mostly have it, where it was like the top 5 most attractive dudes, or the guys that you like the most right now.
And yeah, like, you just like run this shit like a notes app, like body count.
No, we were in notebooks, and then it was just word of mouth.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that was all it was.
Okay, no iPhone.
We were barely in the So this.
Yeah, passing notes.
This was girls talking, and I remember one day I found out that I ended up on like one of the popular girls' top 5. Everybody was like, "Oh, you hear Lume's on the top 5?" I was like, "I'm on the top 5." With old girl? And then, of course, because it's high school, stupid shit happens like, oh, she's got a birthday party coming up. Right. Oh, Lume, you got invited. Like, I got invited. I was like, oh, I'm going to this hall. I'm like, oh, my gosh. And I'm like, I don't go to parties with these cool kids. Like, this is all weird. Okay. Like, no corduroys this time. I had to rock the jeans. Had to get my little Lacoste shirt. Like, I had to fit in, the whole thing. But, like, y'all didn't have that? Y'all didn't, do you have like how you rank dudes or whatever? And this was specifically really only like females did this with. Our females had a lot more power.
So this would never like be allowed. I mean, they would like, yeah, like this is exactly the kind of thing that they would not fucking be going for. Like anything that was remotely related to like relationships or whatever was like not it. Now it's possible that another reason that we didn't have this is because like literally it was just sports or die at this school. Another spoiler.
Just so giving like, the game away.
Literally anybody, and especially not anybody because not me, but like the men who played sports and particularly the men who played football and basketball, like they literally just got to do whatever they wanted, and they would never ever get in trouble for not. They would wear black Nikes and it would be fine, and they would like do all this shit, and they would do some not nice things to girls, and they would never get in trouble, and like blah blah blah. So like it was kind of just. It was almost like not a need for it because it was so clearly defined by like the sports people and the not sports people that it wasn't really that way. But there's also definitely a thing in Catholic school about like you get expelled for bullying like the first time.
Oh.
Yeah.
We ain't had none.
Yeah.
We ain't had nothing like
so
that.
Maybe so that's like kind of positive in a way, but it's also really fake in the sense of like the way punishment is doled out at private school, and this is applicable to all private schools, not just Catholic school, but like the way punishment is doled out at private school is super like sexually and racially biased and socioeconomically biased.
Say it again
because
with your chest.
The kids who were there on like scholarship and shit, if they got in trouble for something, like they would get kicked out immediately. And if your parents are paying full tuition and you're white, you're not getting kicked out for shit.
Yeah, it don't matter.
And or if you were the sports star, then they would let you stay if you did something bad or like whatever. So there was definitely a lot of stuff where it was like, you know, there was subliminal bullying, but never if there was something blatant, like we all knew enough that like they'll kick your ass out if you get caught bullying. But it's like fake because then they just like pat themselves on the back that they're like this socially just place, and like we would do all these courses on social justice and how like we have to make a difference in this world and like blah blah blah. They would focus on that so much, and then they would do shit like I said about like fucking kicking out the poor kids and keeping the rich kids there.
I don't know. I almost would trade. Like there are men to this day that if I ever saw them in the streets, I'd slap them in the fucking face because of the bullying they did. Like that just went unpunished,
I mean, I get it.
whatever. Like
right.
They could just do.
Oh no, there was
like,
no fights. Like physical fights, you're done. You're out.
Oh no, we had fights.
Yeah, no, nothing.
We had
None
fights.
I don't know. I mean, that's fine. I mean, to be fair, like if I had to say one positive thing about high school, like my absolute best friends in the world are like I made there somehow, some way through all this fucking depressive
through the
shit.
dark times, through the clouds.
So they remember me when I was complaining about how horrible everything was every fucking day, but. No, the school itself, like, it was so fake, and it was all based on, like, money and fake morality and, like, shit like this, and it just wasn't.
I mean, it was not it. I definitely felt broke in my school, but not horrible. Like, I definitely felt like I was broke, but I was cool. Like, a lot of those people that was rich, I was like, I'm not going to know you or care about you in 5 to 10 years, and there's going to be a good reason.
Yeah.
And I'm not wrong now.
Yeah.
10 years later, that's perfectly fine. I know we're getting close to the end, so I want to ask you a very simple question.
Okay.
And I want you to answer this objectively.
Mm-hmm.
Were you popular in high school, yes or no?
I mean, yes, but I didn't feel that way. But, like, looking at it, like I said, trying to be not subjective about it and try to have a little, like, hindsight and whatever, I would say, yeah, probably.
And you were a popular girl. Wow, I hate you.
I know. And I was not. And ironically, like everybody who's listening to this is probably going to think, oh, yeah, Kristen was known as the whore. No, not at all. Like I was way too scared and way too like totally full of shame to do anything. Like I was like, I could never be me.
I mean, if I had a time machine, which I'm still working on, and could go back to high school me and be like, hey, bro.
Just hoe it up. Fuck the bullshit.
Like, hey, bro. I'd be like, you're going to have a sex podcast one day. So you might as well start do your training right now,
big
bro.
Fucking facts.
I probably would have looked at old me and I'd have been like, you are fucking crazy, sir. Get out of my face. Literally. Thank you. I'm calling my parents. This is weird.
Yeah.
Ugh. No, like
honestly, that's where we should end it right there on the positive note. Like, fuck it. Shout out to the kids who are brave in high school, man. Y'all are real as fuck for that because it's tough.
Y'all the real. Well, most of you are the real deal Holyfield. Some of y'all are assholes. Just that's all. That's why you did what you did.
Be nice.
But some of y'all had some bad parenting, but
actually, no. This is the final point. Fucking high schools, get your shit together and offer some fucking comprehensive sex education, please. I'm begging you. Like, this shit is out of control bad, out of control unacceptable. And if you think that fucking letting porn teach your kids about sex to the next generation, like, it's not going to end well. So let's fucking... Yeah, and mental health support. I mean, kids aren't getting, like, what they deserve in high school, and I wish that they were, so...
Yeah, you said it better. I can't disagree with any of those things. I would just say... Let's try and keep these kids off the OnlyFans.
Yeah, exactly.
Off of the 16 and pregnants. Off my face. And, just doing the good thing. So we're going to hit this little drink break.
And needed after that one. Woo, it's taking me back.
We shout out to the dark days. See us next time when we talk about college.